Over at DC Comics, the publisher just wrapped up their Lazarus Planet event, where a mysterious resin spread across the DC universe, affecting countless DC Comics titles. And today we're going to go ahead and spotlight Spirit World #1, a brand new comic book as part of DC's We Are Legends initiative, where we're seeing some new heroes emerge from the publisher. In the pages of Lazarus Planet Dark Fate, we saw Cassandra Cain end up trapped in the spirit world, and it's up for a new hero, Xanthe, to team up with familiar DC Universe counterpart John Constantine in order to save Cassandra from the land of the dead. My name is Arako Braddock, and today let's go ahead and jump into the pages of Spirit World #1 to see how this property over from DC is going to fare over in its debut. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that like button if you enjoy our content. I want to go ahead and kick things off by reading DC Comics solicitation text for Spirit World #1. From the pages of Lazarus Planet Dark Fate, a new Chinese hero emerges who's able to travel to and from the spirit world, the realm of the dead, and that of the living. Their name is Xanthe, and their superpower is being able to burn items folded from joss paper and immediately turn them into real objects based on the East Asian practice of burning joss paper with graveyards in order to send resources to ancestors in the spirit world. Except Xanthe can retrieve those items in the world of the living. Their weapon of choice is a large broadsword, because who doesn't love a big sword when you can choose to use a big sword? Food for thought there. Xanthe is a master of the dark arts who's here to give Constantine a run for his money. Literally. When Constantine shows up saying Xanthe scammed him into buying something, he finds them and Batgirl Cass Cain fighting an abnormal influx of jiangshi, Chinese hopping vampires, and joins in to help. But when a portal opens up that drags Batgirl into the spirit world, it's up to Xanthe and Constantine to travel to the land of the living of the spirits to rescue her. Who knows what other spirits we'll find in the spirit world, like that skateboarding boy wearing hanfu with some headphones and a gaping hole in his chest. Want to go ahead and read off our creative team behind Spirit World #1. This one is written by Alyssa Wong, featuring art from Haining, colors from Sebastian Cheng, letters from Janice Chiang, and we have a cover illustrated by both Haining and Cheng. And I want to go ahead and show you a look over at Spirit World #1 from DC Comics. Here's a look over at the debut issue coming in over from Haining and Sebastian Cheng. Really enjoy the kind of triumphant pose that Xanthe is striking over on this cover for the issue. I think it's climactic and just so colorful. Really like some of the colors that Sebastian Cheng is bringing along to this cover. Let's go ahead and take a look over at the preview pages from Adventures in Poor Taste. I want to thank them so much for posting the preview of the issue so incredibly quickly. Really enjoy all these variant covers over on Spirit World #1. And I want to talk a little bit about the interior art over from Haining in this issue. I was so impressed with Haining's art. It is so much different than I think what you usually look at in terms of DC's house style. There are so many kind of intricate page layouts. And usually I find that what a lot of kind of traditional comic book artists in the space of Marvel and DC do is that they put a lot of panels on one page. But one thing that I really like from Haining, especially when the issue kind of kicks off over with some climactic action, is that there's a lot of pages in the issue that don't have traditional panel borders. So I think the action looks a lot more smooth. I was taking a look at this preview to show you an example, and I think that this page that we're looking at right now is a great way to go ahead and illustrate this. The smoke on the page is acting as the panel borders. And the way that this breaks up action in a way that's, I think, a little bit more easy on the eyes than an actual panel border, I think makes this issue read so much more smoothly. I was so impressed with the panel bleeds that Haining used, the unconventional page layouts and structures for the issue. I think the colors in the issue are beautiful. One thing that Haining is excellent at is capturing strong facial expressions for various characters. You know, when Constantine kind of flips the sign over on the kind of magic shop, he's just emoting like a really subtle facial expression, but you can actually tell that he has a little bit of a sort of like reserved look on his face. In the next panel, where he's kind of smoking a cigarette, he looks like he's kind of letting out a little bit of a sigh of relief on his face. I think there's a ton of subtext that you can pick up from Heining's art, especially if you're looking for it over in the issue. Here's another really fantastic example of a page without a panel border that strikes such like a strong emotional climax on the page just from the art alone. When Xanthe and Constantine are kind of walking away from the magic shop, the way that this last panel on the page has no border and is kind of actually the background of the page is just absolutely wonderful. I even like in this page how they're kind of explaining a little bit more about what happened with Cass Cain, and we're seeing kind of like some of the spirit world effects and the kind of collective that she was fighting sort of close in on her in this panel, sort of demonstrating what happened in the issue. So I just think that there are so many wonderful and triumphant elements of Heining's art that makes Spirit World such an easy recommendation from me, because there's just so much sort of quality in this overall package. Xanthe is such a sort of, likable and caring individual. I just can't stress how much I appreciated this scene. And plus, I like how much the tone sort of changes in the issue when it's time to switch over to the spirit world. It was really thrilling kind of watching Cassandra Cain fight off some of the vampires over in the issue and some of the antagonists in the issue as well. And I think this is where Heining's art got the most creative. There were incredible, panel borderless pages, such interesting kind of supernatural effects over on some of these pages as well. It is just absolutely kind of stunning to behold all the creative chances that Haining takes over on some of these pages. Plus, we get introduced to a few more characters over with Cassandra Cain, like Bowen. I thought these sort of glimpses at, brand new characters in the DC universe were a little bit interesting. Also, I really appreciated the fact that this series has so much plot, despite the fact that it's only the first issue. I really don't think that this is very hard to follow at all. The Lazarus Planet story was actually really important to the series as a whole, but they actually recap that in the issue. So if you're just kind of picking this one up blind, I think you should be totally fine and you should be able to become really immersed in the story. There hasn't really been that much spirit world material yet, and this is a great way to sort of jump on board and meet Xanthe and get to know Constantine and Cassandra Cain a little bit more. And towards the end of the issue, there's a cliffhanger of sorts. I'm not quite sure how this cliffhanger is going to play out and how it's really going to serve Spirit World in these sort of months to come, but I still think that there's still such a strong level of intrigue, and the fact that we have, the kind of present day DC Universe story with Xanthe and Constantine, the fact that that's in good shape, the fact that we have this really kind of beautiful and kinetic artwork from Haining, and the fact that I like what Cassandra Cain is going through over in the spirit world. I really do think that the vast majority of content over in this issue has turned out quite well in the debut for Spirit World. So overall here, I have to say that I was really excited for Spirit World #1. Was really excited to kind of see some of those ancillary characters over in the DC universe get a place to call home, like Constantine and Cassandra Cain. Plus, I think the tone of this series is fascinating. I love sort of all of the kind of interpersonal relationships with Xanthe and the rest of the characters. And I love the fact that we have a bit more of an outlet here for Cassandra Cain as a character. I want to know from you, what were some of your thoughts over on Spirit World #1? Did you enjoy this issue as much as I did? And what do you want to go ahead and see me cover next? Well, thank you guys so much for coming to check out the video today, and we'll be back really soon for more excellent comic book content. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.